Real talk. Real talk disclaimer. The information provided by the host on this platform is for education and awareness purposes only. All information provided on this platform is provided in good faith. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, validity, and reliability of information shared by the host or show guests. The views and opinions of guests on the show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the host of Real Talk. Under no circumstances do the host, show guests, sponsors, or affiliates assume responsibility for the actions of any viewer.
Our greatest glory is rising when we fall. So don't be discouraged, don't you be appalled. It's okay if you fall and maybe even lose your spark. Just make sure in the end you rise from the dark. It's time to rise up, time to work, and time to chase your dreams. The Lord has the final say, so your soul is redeemed. This message is to help you with your self-esteem, as faith will take you places that we have never seen.
Welcome to Real Talk. We're so glad to have all of you to join us on today. We thank you for your prayers and your love that you gave on last week. During my absence, we thank Bishop T and, of course, Tom Tom for carrying on the show. Welcome to Real Talk. Several ways that you can join us here on Real Talk. Of course, you can join us on Facebook Live. You can join us on YouTube. Of course, we have a Twitter page. We do ask that you will like and subscribe on our YouTube page, and that you would, of course, like on Facebook and share on your page. Hello, Bishop T. How you doing on today?
I am well, Pastor Z. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I see you survived the storm.
To God be the glory.
To God be the glory. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
You feeling pretty good?
Yes.
That's a blessing right there.
It is. I'm glad to be back in the saddle. In the saddle. So we want to say hello. Go ahead and let's speak to all of those that are viewing, that are talking to us. If you're viewing us on today, why don't you say hello in the comments, talk back to us, share it on your page. Want everybody that's watching this Real Talk on today to like and share. Like and share. Okay, so let's see how many can follow those instructions. Like and share. Okay. What's up, Dana J? Glad to have you on. Hello, Miss Mary Smitherman. Hello. Praying that all is well with you. Miss Doris Payne. Want to say hello to you. Miss Shannon Wyatt. Want to say hello to you. Also to Miss Rosie Green. Now we have about 15 to 17 people on at this moment, and I know I have some more. Come on in, speak to us on your comment. Go ahead and like and share. Hello, Mama Latham. Hello, how are you doing on tonight? Hello, Miss Townsend. Glad to have you on. Miss Epiphany Crook Cherry. Hello. I want to say hello to Mr. Philip Davis. And hello to uh, Shalita Turner. Hello, hello. What's up there, Mr. Hughley? All right. Yeah, everybody is coming in. Hello, Miss Tawana. Our prayers is to you and your family. We lost a precious woman, Miss Queenie, passed away in homegoing services was on yesterday. I talked to your father. Our prayers are with you and your family during the time of your bereavement. All right, all right. Glad to have everybody on. On tonight, we won't have any tea. We'll say we do not have any tea tonight. Miss Tom Tom is unable to join us on tonight. She's well. She's fine. It's just work is calling her, and she's has to tend to that. Hello, Mr. Jerry Cook. Hello, hello. All right. Again, share, like, and share, like, and share. If you are watching from YouTube, like and subscribe. Sign in and like and subscribe. Let us know that you support Real Talk. If you support Real Talk, then your likes and your shares will allow others to realize and us to realize we're doing some good and you're actually enjoying us coming on. Okay? You're actually enjoying us coming on. Have some great news. Mr. Hamilton has been released from the hospital. He has been released from the hospital. The young man who played for the Buffalo Bills uh, was injured a couple of weeks ago, and his heart stopped uh, working. He had a cardiac arrest on the field. Rushed to the hospital there in Cincinnati, stayed there for a couple of weeks, released to Buffalo, his home, to the hospital there. And they kept him there for a little while, and I think I heard last that he's now released home. So that's a great thing to know that he's is now been released home. Um, uh, he had a condition that we'll talk a little bit about that another time. Um, but our prayers are to him. There's a lot that's been going on with that incident and has given us an eye opener um, concerning what took place and what's a possibility can happen to him uh, in the near future if he will have a career or not. And then what will the NFL do concerning that? Listen, today we had some tough weather, and our prayers goes out to those areas. I know there was some tough weather in Selma. That's the big tornado that touched down in Selma. It's downtown Selma. It kind of did some damage there. So those are some pictures of what happened in Selma on today. And then in Decatur, Alabama, there was some areas that were hit there in Decatur, Alabama. So we're praying. I think I saw where in I think in Selma area, and I don't know if it was in Decatur, but I know in Selma area, thought I saw where there was about 10 to 17 injuries. So our prayers goes out to those people in those areas. Pray that all is well. Shayla's car got messed up. We just pray that she's okay, and I know she's down in that Selma area. Our prayers are with those individuals, and I know that some schools was released. The Gaston City schools was not released, and the EMA actually um, encouraged that the schools was not released, that they will actually go into shelter in place, because sometimes you can release the children right in the middle of a storm, and they'll be in more danger if you release them than you would if you shelter them in place. Shay, we pray that Shayla is fine. We can replace a car. Hello, Miss Cassie Baker. All right, awesome. Uh, there are some things that took place this week. I want to say congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. They are the 2023 national champs in football. That was you talking about disaster. That game was turned off 10 minutes into it. They finished a perfect season, undefeated. There's some photos of them. The score was 65-7, the biggest blowout in history, college history. 52-7 when he pulled some of his starters. Oh, the committee definitely got it wrong. Definitely got it wrong.
Let me ask you this: because I've heard a lot of that. When you say the committee got it wrong, explain to me, if you can, quickly, what that process is.
Well, the committee they have a committee towards the end of the season that's supposed to take all the teams and they actually rank them. The top four teams is what they put in the playoffs. And those number four play number one, and number two and three would play. Well, there was a situation that took place, and they normally do it after all the teams have played the conference championship and all. And people keep hollering Alabama lost 2 games. Here's was the scenario. So you had Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2 before the conference championship, okay? Ohio State at 3, USC, I believe. No, let me take that back. You had Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, TCU at 3, and USC at number 4. Well, when they played their conference championship, USC lost and TCU lost. Well, you had at number 5 Ohio State, and number 6 was Alabama. So when USC lost, they moved from number 4 to number 10, which allowed Ohio State to get in at number 4. When TCU lost, what's supposed to happen was that TCU would drop out and Alabama would slide in, because when Ohio State went to number 4, it moved Alabama to number 5. TCU didn't budge.
And they lost the conference game?
They got mollywopped.
In the conference game?
They lost their conference game against Kansas State, who Alabama destroyed.
Okay, I get it now. So you saying is it TSU?
TCU should have came.
Their conference championship, and they didn't move. They didn't move. Okay, I got it.
But you can't punish USC, who lost theirs, and you move them from 4 to 10, and then TCU lose theirs, and they move nowhere. They don't even budge. So that there was a lot going on with that. But it probably was the worst viewed. I mean, when you get to the championship game, you want to see a good game. It was 30 something to 7 at halftime. Who watched it? Okay. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right.
But I'm gonna tell you the reason I asked that, because I know what there's a new system. Either this year, this coming year, they going to the
They're supposed to
what?
be going to 21 or 12 teams, which
Okay,
that's going to be too many games.
but what I couldn't understand was everybody was saying as it related to TCU being there and Alabama not. I was seeing a lot of comments, but I
Yeah.
wasn't familiar. Okay, I got
And
you.
a lot of people that was either Auburn fans or Georgia fans was okay with TCU being in. And I'm a football fan. I'm a Auburn. I support Auburn, but I want to see good football. I was geared up, ready, had my wings together. I'm talking about I'm ready to watch a good game, and was highly let down. Robert Hunter said they were eating chicken on the sideline after the first quarter. Almost this Also, this almost guaranteed multiple SEC teams once the playoffs are expanded, because LSU and Tennessee are getting in if they are 8. Prayers goes out to tornadoes cities that had damage. Mr. Hughes can say I stopped watching before the first quarter was over. So did I, Miss Green said. Not the wings. Yeah, I had the wings, but I didn't have a good game. So those are just a few things I just wanted to throw out and share. What did you have today, Bishop?
Oh well, I don't know if I forgot to mention this on last week. The Kyra Harris Bolden is was appointed to by the Michigan governor, was appointed to the Michigan State Supreme Court. She is the first black woman to be appointed to the Michigan State Supreme Court. Her name is Kyra Harris Bolden, and her story is, if you can, those of you who can get that name, Kyra Harris Bolden. Some of you may have heard or heard her story. She's the first black female to be appointed to the Michigan State Supreme Court. She was appointed by the governor, and she has an interesting story. So if you can look that up, that would be good. It deals with either I think it's her grandfather who was lynched, and as a result of that, her knowing that and all, she went into law, and so she now sits as the first black female on the Supreme Michigan Supreme Court. Um, since we kind of stand in the vein of current events, I find it interesting that I don't know. I know we've heard about the situation with Biden, the classified documents.
What is up with that?
They found a set of classified documents in an office that he used during the Obama administration.
Oh wow!
They found those, and they are cooperating with the Justice Department as it relates to turning the documents over. They actually let them know that they had the documents. The interesting thing about that is a second set. When they found that set, that was in November before the election. When they found that set, it is said that the Biden administration and aides went on a search to make sure, or to check to see if there were any other documents, and discovered that there was another set of documents. And the last thing I heard on it was yesterday. What I find interesting about that is that well, quite naturally, because what for the last we know for the last 2 years, and even during the um, Trump Trump time, we know that it's been real partisan. Democrats, Republicans, Republicans. Um, but what I found interesting was the hypocrisy that I've heard as it relates to these documents being found and wanting to get to the bottom of it and saying everything about Biden. But the more interesting thing that I heard one commentator say is that, regardless of Trump, the issue with Trump and those classified documents, or with Biden and his classified documents, is the system broken for making sure that classified documents are where they need to be and there are no classified documents? Is that system working the way it should? So I found that to be interesting in the fact that Trump had gone through it. And I think if you've been watching it, it is definitely two different scenarios, same situation. But I think the thing for me is one administration working with the Justice Department to get things turned over and cooperating, and then one that just refused to turn those documents over. So that's something that's going on too. And I dare not mention, and I think it just speaks for where we are and how tired do we have to get of seeing things happen the way they happen. After 15 rounds of voting, they finally ended up with a House Speaker. It's just it makes me wonder, and especially being an elected official, it makes me wonder where the heart is. Are we there? One of the things that I remember, former councilman Steve Hart said to me, good government, just doing good government. And it with all of these things going on, taking 15 unprecedented things, 15 rounds of voting before you get a House Speaker. It makes me wonder if we are really concentrating on, yeah, and the Speaker is Kevin McCarthy, if we are really, where the good government is, just wanting to do good government. What, 20 years ago, people would cross the aisle on different situations. There was a bipartisan, things were done in a bipartisan way. And I say that to kind of go to right. And I think that's the thing, Mr. Hunter, that the system is broken. The system is broken. When you look and see that happening, it says that there are a lot of things where the system is just broken. And I say that as far as good government. The last thing that I wanted to mention was Representative George Santos, who,
Oh man.
it's just getting deeper and deeper. Here is what concerns me. And I say that because from the position that I'm in now, something I've never done before. We were in training all day today, just learning things, the do's, the don'ts, and all. Here's what I say to that. Where is a person's conscience? Um, with him he's getting facing more and more calls to resign from his position, and I'll say allegedly because of campaign fraud and lying. But
And
when
he
you
admitted to the line.
yeah, but when you see him, he refuses to resign. And there it's like there's no remorse that you have
Lied to the people.
lied to the people.
Yeah,
That you're
I saw that.
You're actually holding an office um, based on the fact of what you told people. They took you at your word and voted for you.
It's like I scammed you and I got away with it. So oh well.
And now I'm going to dangle it around in your face.
Yeah, and the only way you can get me out is 4 to 6 years or whatever when it's time for re-election.
Well, I
So,
think,
but I got you. I got you. Ta-da! You know, he said I said I was Jewish. I didn't say, you know,
yeah,
he made fun of that, and the Jewish people is upset with that too.
yeah. So it just, those are the things that I have paid attention to because somewhere, and let me say this because I don't want to seem like I'm definitely not judging or anything, but it makes me want to even more so just be about good government. Just to be about good government, doing the work of the people, the voice of the people, working with the other councilmen and mayors and whatever other city officials and county officials, just to do good government.
Can I
So,
ask you a question?
mm-hmm,
Since you're talking about good government,
don't be asking me nothing hard.
it's simple. I
Okay.
don't know if you will have the answer, but I know it exists. The question is, why does everything has to have a hidden agenda? Every move that is made, every decision that is made, every selection, it seems to me there's a hidden agenda. And I wonder why.
Well, I don't have an answer to that because I haven't thought of it. I haven't thought that everything that goes on has a hidden agenda. And I think that probably boils down to just personal opinion. But I don't know that, I don't know. I don't, when you say everything, are you saying that people,
When you talk about good politics, and I understand what you're saying, good
okay, good
politics,
government,
good
good
government.
government.
And I understand what you mean when you say good government. The reason I asked that question because in the past there's not been good government. Can you agree with that?
I can't
It's
totally
too
agree
much.
with
It's
it.
too much.
I
It's
think it's
all
more, I think it boils down to individuals. Whereas you have individuals that are determined to just do good government, and I think that in everything there's it could be every other person or one in two people, one in three people, one in five people, where are public officials that do have a hidden agenda. I
okay.
don't
Prime
think that
example. Let me give you this prime example about good. And I don't mean to cut you off,
you
but
go ahead.
this is where I'm going with this. Okay, why did it take so many times to go back to the voting to get McCarthy in as the majority leader when Jeffries got 100%? You know why? They had to get what they want from him in order to put him in that position. They kept going back to him and say, until you agree to do this, until you agree to do this, until you agree to do that, you're not gonna get my vote. And
But
it's like I got to have a grip on you, or I got to squeeze you instead of trusting you the right person for the position. And I believe that if you're the right person for the position, you're gonna make the right decisions. I got to squeeze you to get what I want in order to give you my vote.
I don't believe that those, because those were not Democrats. That was a battle within the Republican Party.
Exactly.
So I don't believe that maybe 19 or 20 who are very, that because they, before now, there wasn't that issue, there wasn't that situation. I don't believe that it was about getting what they wanted. I don't believe they really wanted McCarthy to be in that position.
So
I
who
don't
do they
believe.
want?
I don't. because I mean there were some that don't agree, or just on that radical far right and whatever else position. So I don't know that. I think there are a lot of things that played into that. The fact that the margin was so small. If they had really picked up the seats that they desired to, I don't believe it would have got to that point. I believe that a few of them took advantage of that. And as a result of taking advantage of that, were able to force McCarthy to give them some things that they wanted. But I don't believe that that would have been the case. It's almost like seeing an open door and you walk through that door. I believe had the results been different during the midterm election, that door wouldn't have been open.
Okay, so do you remember when he first got the gavel from Jeffries, which, by the way, this is the minority leader of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, who did a great job in his speech. Once he received the gavel from him, this very gavel that he's about to hit, the first thing that he said to Jeffries, I just want to warn you that just because you got 100% of the vote this time, it doesn't mean you're going to always get that. Because he had gotten 100% of the vote before.
But
now it's time.
But in order for, I don't understand why he. I mean, so what is the point? Because
what he's saying is, don't get excited because you got 100% to be the minority. When it comes down to the majority, it's a possibility you'll be in the same boat I'm in right now. It took this long for me to get in here. That's what he was saying. And people that has power, that people that give their power to a person to have the power, they want what they want. And that's why I'm saying good governance is that I'm just going to be true to myself, true to the constituents that I'm representing, and let the chips fall where they may. Instead of always got to have the grip plows on someone, got to twist them one way or twist them another way, or else I can't give you my support. That's just like, okay, for instance, I'm telling you, I'm in District 1, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to vote for you unless you promise me something. And sometimes what you're promising, I'm not asking you to promise me to do the right thing when you get up there. Promise me a job. Promise me this. If you can't promise me that, you can't get my vote. That's twisting your arm trying to get you to do something that's really not in your power to give, knowing that you're the right person. Okay, prime example. There is a belief that people feel that no one should run unopposed. Well, I believe that if you're doing a good job, and then if I can't do no better than what you're doing, why not allow you to run unopposed? You're doing a good job. But some people feel like nobody should ever run unopposed. Silly to me. But I understand in some cases why they would come up with that scenario, especially if it's a bigger picture. Not so much for District 1, but it's a bigger picture. You follow what I'm saying? Because each person that's running will have more people come to the polls to support either one of them. But the bigger picture is, that all of those votes can go towards an individual that's running. I understand that. But I do also understand if you just put somebody mediocre up against someone who is really working for the people, and that mediocre person mess around and win because they just have that many more supporters. So now that seat finna become a seat of idol. I just believe that if my heart is right then there should not be a hidden agenda. I should not desire favors in order to give you my vote. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think in some cases there is a compromise. There is a compromise to get what you are looking for, or what you are trying to do. I think that there is a compromise, or that is making deals, or saying we're working with you on this if you know. I think that's life. I wish everything probably was just that cut and dry, but it's like reaching, whether it's across the aisle or working with a group of people to get something done. I do believe, though, if this makes sense, because I was looking at a comment that Robert Hunter made when he says he won't, talking about Santos resigning. I do believe that a lot of things are taking place and happening because of the such, I believe people took advantage of the fact that there is such a small margin between the Republicans, the number of Republicans in the House, and the number of Democrats. I believe that there, it's like you see an opportunity, so you seize the opportunity. I
But is that good governance?
I can't say that it's not good government. I mean,
No,
no, I can't. You can't just say that that's bad government
no,
because
it's not. When you try and you taking advantage. You just said it. They took advantage of an
when
opportunity
I said that
to
they
try
took
to get
advantage,
what
I'm
they
not
want.
saying that taking advantage in it, that doesn't have to mean. I'm saying that there was an opportunity and they seized the opportunity. I'm not saying that I agree or that I disagree, but if you see an opportunity to get some things done or see some things done that you want done, and then I don't want to just sit up and call out things, or let me just give my opinion. 2 years ago, the Democrats did not do that. There had to be a unity within the party because Democrats were the majority to pick Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. I'm sure there were other people who were in that running against her, but who's going to represent that party as Speaker of the House? So I'm saying that 2 years later, there's such a small margin. And in order to see some things done, I think that people took that opportunity. I can't just lump that in and say that that's bad government. It's unprecedented, but I can't say that that's bad government. I think that good government is when you're there, you're not taking advantage of your position or advantage of the office for selfish gain, and that you are there to do the bidding and the work of the people.
Okay, what if you sell out?
What do you mean? What if you sell out?
Not so much as selfish, but when you sell out,
That's what I'm
when
asking.
you
What
when
do you
you are
mean?
controlled and you doing things that are unfair, you doing things that are illegal because you sold out. Those people that whatever, pretty much this is what we have discussed in the break room. He have weakened himself so he really don't have a leg to stand on because he's beholden to the very ones that he sold out to get their votes. So
Well, I know as a result of some of the things that he did compromise, I do know that there are things. Yeah, I do. I do feel that he weakened the position of the Speaker of the House, whether Republican or Democrat, while these things are in place. While they are in place, he weakened the um the position. He weakened the position. But I do not feel. I just feel I just feel that we are not. I feel that good government is based on individuals and the heart and mind that individuals serve with, and not necessarily. I mean, because we see it. I mean, we see it every. The Santos man. You know, I mean, if is it going to be good? Is it going to be? Is it going to be good
Mr. Hughley,
government?
I'm about to put you off my show. Shut your face, man.
That's what he need. He need a dose of oil.
No, I don't either. I sure don't need that.
It ain't gonna do nothing but hurt you before it help you.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, but it's just it. I think that it's just, and then too, you got that millennial group that's in there, and they are radical, and stuff is happening.
Yeah. So you mentioned the young lady in Michigan State. What was her name again?
Oh
Supreme
shit.
Court.
Her name was Kyra Harris Bolden.
And this is a photo of her. For those that have not seen her or know who she is. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on your mind? You went to the mayor's ball. I was trying to find a picture of you.
Yeah, I went to the mayor's ball. I had a good time at the
There's
mayor's
a lot of people there, from my understanding.
You was.
I was so trying to find a picture because I wanted everybody on Real Talk to see Bishop T in her gown.
You're not gonna find any pictures.
Somebody said there was some pictures up. Let's see if I can find some.
We don't have time for that.
I got time for anything.
All right. We don't have anybody got time for that. It's a fun. Come on, we ain't got time for you to do that.
Well, you can talk.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
You don't.
George, you got some castor oil for this man. That castor oil will get in there and work in your system and just pull all that coal out.
I don't have any coal.
You don't have any coal?
I sure don't.
I don't know why. You've been sitting here coughing on this show the whole night.
You love try to get with somebody and start running your mouth, don't you?
Good evening, cousin.
Hello, Patrice. Come get her.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hear what you got to say.
George, why did you ask him about some castor oil? Because he was.
All right, next time you over there coughing and sneezing, I'm going to call you out. Just know that. All right, Twin City used car sales, 1015 Gout Avenue, South Fort Payne, Alabama, 35967. Phone number is 256-844-2210. Check out Twin City used car. I know it, Patrice. I would have loved to have been there. I would have. I had said I was going to go and see if my daddy had a tux. I was going to get his tux and wear it to the ball. My daddy used to have a tux. I know he still got it there at the house.
You know what? I would have liked to have seen somebody in one of those vintage tux where they had the ruffle. Something I was finna say. What's coming up? Anything coming up?
Yeah, Martin Luther King celebration. The prayer breakfast is taking place at the Antioch Baptist Church Family Life Center. This coming Monday. From 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Bishop T will be doing the singing.
I'll be doing one of the songs, and Pastor Z.
I'm not on the scene, so you can
You
get that out.
on the program,
You're on the scene. Y'all show
and
up
you're
at,
on.
at the prayer
You, I
breakfast
think, aren't you? You're on to pray. You're on to do one of the
while
prayers.
you are out.
As a matter of fact,
While you are out of school and off of work, come out and let's celebrate the annual MLK prayer breakfast. This is what is that? GE, is that GE what? GEI? GEI.
You're on to pray. That's what I thought. You're on to pray.
Hello,
Now,
Miss Bostic. How are you? Good to see you.
Miss,
Mr.
listen,
Taylor said he had a blast. Awesome, awesome.
Mr. Taylor, what? I didn't see you. Listen, Linda. There's a parade tomorrow too. Is it the We Care parade? Somebody help me that knows the name of that parade. We're gonna be in the parade, but somebody help me if you know what the parade is at 1:00 tomorrow. If you know the name of the Unity Parade, thank you, Miss Baker. The Unity Parade, thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow, it's tomorrow at 1:00.
Read that.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Oh, one of my students, this is coming from the principal of Thompson, Miss Patrice Maxwell. One of my students told me today that Dr. King's dream had happened because I can walk hand in hand with my friends that are white. What do our viewers think about that? Unity. What do you think about that? That's, and you're in the elementary. You're in elementary school. That's good for, a thought process with our children. Mine. Thought process with our children. And children are so genuine.
They are.
Genuine. They're so genuine. They're genuine. You're right, Casey. Amazing. Really, on the elementary level. Unity Parade. And it is the Unity Parade. And let me just encourage us to come and unify ourselves and just what was that man back in, was it in the 90s or the 80s? When was it Rodney King? Who was that when he said, "Can we all just get along?"
Yeah. Rodney King.
A first grader? Wow. If you don't teach them to hate, they won't hate. I'll tell you that much.
True. That is correct.
If you don't teach them, they will not hate.
Okay, I want you to share what was the very thing about Dr. King's speech? What was one of the things that stuck out to you concerning Dr. King's speech?
That a man would not be judged by the color of his skin, but rather by the content of his character.
That's what I
Now
like.
let me say this. I do feel that, oh man, what do I want to say?
You feel what?
That a man would not be judged by the color of his skin. Both ways. Both ways. Not just when he says a man, he said a man. And I know specifically at the time, things that were going on that, a man, black men, man in general, man, woman, would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I think that's both ways.
Yeah, I think, and I think he meant that
Yeah, exactly.
because he wanted blacks not to judge all whites. Well, none. I mean, he wanted them to
He
judge
wants people
them
to be
by
judged
what
by
was
what
in
was
them,
in them
not by
and not
what they look like,
what.
and the vice versa.
That's why I can be a principal today because of that statement. Exactly. And it is disheartening when um you still have that mentality that that people are judged.
Yeah, and
You
people miss
know,
opportunities because people don't know what's in them, and they never hear what's in them because they looking at them. And that's both. That's with red, yellow, black, or white. Because at one time there was a big hate on Asians. Did you remember that? People were just jumping on them for no reason.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that that was a result of all of the COVID and coming from uh it being said that it originated in China, that there that some people just began to have that hatred for Asians because because all kind of things were being said. Here again, I will make this statement and I'll make it this way. When the head is full of hatred, the body has no choice but to follow what's going on in the head. And so if your top if hatred is spewing from the mouth of the most powerful man,
yeah, yeah. I know where you're going.
okay. Now, so
Especially when they idolize this man, you,
you
you
know,
you have a tendency to agree with their beliefs, even though it wasn't really yours. But they have a way to persuade you to think along the same lines that they're thinking.
here again, I'm gonna go back to a statement that Robert Hunter made on the show tonight. Republicans are not gonna speak up against Santos because Santos is a major. If they get rid of him, that puts that margin even smaller. And I hope I think I'm right. They have a margin of 4 people. I think I'm right. So if they lose him, it goes to 3. So it you what are you willing? Where is the conviction to say this is what right? This is what's right. That's what I don't see anymore. I don't see that. And just like we were talking several months ago with all of the campaigns, some of the campaigns that were just so dirty, so they're so nasty, just the things that were coming out. And I'm talking about on a national level now. I'm not talking about on a local level. Just the things that were coming up, the negative ads. It's just it boils down to your heart. And I tell my mama this all the time because when people treat you bad or people misuse you, abuse you, or whatever it is, in your flesh, sometimes you want to retaliate the same way. But I said this to my mama a few days. I don't want what people do, the actions of other people, to change the heart that I really have.
Right.
You know, Michelle Obama said it, and I think when they go low, we go high. And that comes back to mind. When people go low against me, I want to go high. One of the things that I think, who is it? And I think the author is unknown, or the person that said it is unknown. But attitude is 1% of what people do to you, but 99% of how we respond to what people do. And I don't want the heart. If I don't, the heart that I have, I don't want that heart to change. I'm not gonna give people that kind of power
Yeah.
in my life to change who I am. I can feed you out of a long handled spoon. I can stay out of your way. But I don't want you. I'm not gonna let you change me.
That's the thing. You, you, you control you.
Right.
Right. Right. Well, one of my favorite statements I heard in the Dr. King speech that Dr. King was he was deep, in his time, and he would say, I remember him saying about the promissory note that they had wrote, America had wrote us a promissory note, and it has returned with insufficient funds, you know, and the things he was saying concerning how what they promised to do um, to bring justice to all pretty much uh, had reneged on their promise. And when you listen to the "I Have a Dream" speech, I want you to pay close attention uh, to what he said before he said, I have a dream." There's a lot of important information he says there that really stuck with me, and it's because of his sacrifice um, and the work that he did with others
I see what you're
is the
saying.
reason why we are actually able to be where we are today. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for his sacrifice. What was you saying?
I went to the part where you were talking about.
Read it.
It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of colors are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we
Boy,
refuse to believe that that Bank of Justice. I mean, you.
he was so deep. Say that again. What he said about the Bank of Justice. Yeah, what he say about we refuse to believe what?
We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt.
That stuff deep, man. But I heard
We
that, I was like,
refuse to
whoa.
believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation.
Come on now.
And so we've come to cash this check.
Cash it.
Check
Yeah.
that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. It was, you know what? The reality is equality.
Yeah. And that's all he was asking for. That right there, that little statement right there, it brings chills over my body when I hear him deliver it. And brought chills as you was reading it. The actual words.
Well, let's say this. It says when the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's why I said that hey, if you get the opportunity, search Kyra Harris Bolden and look at her story. What really made her want to study law and to go into law, it was because her grandfather was lynched and he was castrated at the same. I think that's the case of it. So it's It's worth Google her and listen to that story. You know, we've come a long way, but we yet
Yeah,
have a long way to go.
we do.
We must keep striving. We must keep striving.
And we must, the same love that we expect from the white man,
I was just about to say it.
we got to extend the same love to them and to ourselves.
We cannot talk about. Now I have my opinion when it comes to the definition of a racist, but we cannot. What am I trying to say? It would disrespect. You said love, but we can't say that it's racism when it's being done to us and not feel that we have those same prejudices
Toward
them and call it right.
Because King was for all mankind. Let's be honest. Of course, he talked about justice and for us, but King, even in his conversation with Malcolm X, was like, we don't return the hate back to them the way the hate that we are receiving. We got to kill it with love.
Well, if you look at it, that was the issue during that time with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Martin was for nonviolence.
Right.
Malcolm X by any means necessary. You know,
and all I'm saying is there's a lot of senseless deaths. Senseless deaths. People are gone too soon. In our own community because we have done it to ourselves. We have got to realize that a lot of our casualties in our community has come from friendly fire, as the military would say. You know, it's the same people wearing the same uniform as us. You know, and so we got to stop this. Attacking one another, killing one another. If we want to expect them to respect us, we got to learn to respect ourselves. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the prayer breakfast that is taking place on Monday from 9 until 11 at the Family Life Center at the Antioch Baptist Church. This is a GEI. It's the annual MLK prayer breakfast. It's all going down from 9 to 11 on the 16th. That is Monday. Guest speaker will be the pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church and the moderator of the Wills Creek District Association, Pastor Larry Weathers. So spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Hello, Councilman and Pastor Smith. Anything else you have before we say good night to the great people?
No, I don't have anything else. Thank each of you for joining us tonight and sharing with us tonight. I'm glad to see you back. I think you should take George's advice and get your dose of oil to get down in your chest. Or just get you some and rub it on your chest.
How about I do this?
Rub it in the top of your head. You better not. You better, right? If you do, this partnership is over. I'm telling you right now, you better not.
What I'm about to do?
I don't know what you about to do, but you better not do what I think.
First of all, me and you shall never part. Yeah. But this is what I'm gonna do.